All right, YouTube, what's good? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, I'm going to be breaking down time management and daily planning that makes me over $50,000 a month with all my e-com businesses and stores. Really wanted to make this video because a lot of you have been asking me, yo, how do you manage your day? How do you plan your day for efficiency and create systems that are running in the back end while you sleep? And in this video, I'm going to be breaking everything down because it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows. In the beginning, when I was making $0 a month, my day was literally just all over the place. And so I really wanted to make this video for the people that haven't necessarily reached that consistency with e-commerce and want to actually be able to plan out their day efficiently, so every single thing that you do has intention behind the business, right? So why does time management even matter, right? Running an e-com business comes with a lot of moving parts, all right? We got product research, store optimization, content creation, customer service, supplier communication, right? We're talking to suppliers overseas, shipping and fulfillment, right? These are very, very important things, and they all kind of work together to build the system of your business, right? So without structure and intentional planning, your entire day will get consumed by low return on investment tasks that feel productive but don't actually move the needle, right? So being busy is not the same as being effective. The goal is simple here, guys. Focus on the tasks that directly grow revenue and scale the brand, right? So in the beginning, right, you might feel like you're being busy because you're working 8 to 12 hours a day, but you start to notice that like being busy doesn't mean that you're being effective, right? I work anywhere from 5 to 6 hours every single day now, but I'm super effective because I have intention. I know exactly what I need to be doing. But like I said, it wasn't always like that. In the past, I was working 10 to 12 hours, fucking thinking I was like being productive, but I wasn't actually being effective, right? It's almost like, for context, when you start your organic dropshipping business or even dropshipping in general, right, your e-com journey, a lot of you guys want to build out the most optimized website even before you touch the product or even before you make your first ever ad. How does that possibly make sense when you're not even making money, right? You're focusing on the back end stuff when you haven't even started working on the front end stuff that's going to even get you the traction to the website in the first place, right? That's like a perfect example. Another example, let's say you play sports and you're buying like the best cleats. Let's say like you're playing soccer, right? Or American football, whatever. You're buying the best equipment, you're buying the best cleats, but you haven't even touched the sport yet. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people like to kind of like overanalyze and focus on like all this back end stuff that really doesn't matter, because what really does matter is actually playing the goddamn sport, getting really good at it, and then focusing on optimizing the equipment, optimizing the website, right? So that's just a couple of examples right there. Let me not get ahead of myself here. Okay, I'm absolutely cracked out on caffeine right now. It's currently 12:30. Juices are flowing. Let's get it. So the foundation, right? High leverage versus low leverage tasks. Let's get into it. So what is leverage, right? Leverage basically means doing work that produces outsized results compared to effort invested, right? Getting more for what you're putting in, essentially. Okay. So we're going to be using examples here, specifically that have to do with e-com. Okay. This is an e-com channel. My name's Kevin Martins. I do e-commerce, if you guys know who I am. But in terms of high leverage tasks, right, this could be product research and testing, okay? Creating ads, creating content, improving your offer, building systems, hiring, and delegating. These are very high lever activities. But low lever activities could be, replying to every single customer email yourself, especially when you're scaling. Like, you should not be doing this. This is the type of task that you can go ahead and delegate to somebody overseas to take care of that for you, okay? Another thing could be tweaking small little logo designs and details. When you're creating a logo and you want to optimize your logo, bro, that does not matter. Literally just hire somebody that can go ahead and do that for you off Fiverr, right? Also, reading random Shopify forums that really have nothing to do with your current situation because you just want to like learn more. Again, you should not even be doing this. This is very low ROI. You should be learning from somebody that's currently doing the business model, rather than like looking at Reddit and stuff like that in forums, okay? Another thing to do is like doing everything yourself. And I actually fell victim because I thought, once I started hitting like 30K months consistently in profit, I was like, bro, I can do everything myself. Like, I've been able to make 30K. Why can't I make 100K? But the way you make 30K isn't going to be the same way that you're going to be making 40, 50, 100K a month. Like, you need to understand that like you only have 24 hours in a day. You only have a certain amount of energy in your body that you can go ahead and use on a daily basis. And you can't do everything yourself, unfortunately, right? And that's the thing, right? You can't duplicate yourself. You can't clone yourself to multiple people. And so this is why you have to start delegating and actually building a team, building a system that could still, carry the quality of work that you can. And who knows, maybe even do it better than you, right? That's something that I had to like really think about. It's like, damn, bro, like because I thought nobody could do my job better than me. But in reality, bro, there's people that do my job better than I do, and I pay them really good for it, okay? Another thing too could be obsessively checking your dashboard. Let's say you started getting your first ever sales with a brand new store. Bro, stop looking at your dashboard like every 2 seconds. Like, again, that's not really going to move the needle. If anything, that's just going to make you more emotional and just more anxious about everything, right? Again, I fell victim to this. Like I said, I'm not just saying this to say this. Like, this is all from my personal experience. I remember when I first started my first ever organic dropshipping store, I got my first ever sale after 3 months of doing the business model and seeing no results. And those $15 absolutely changed my life. But then I remember like that day, I would constantly like check my phone and, just refresh. And again, that wasn't necessarily moving the needle, bro. So again, don't worry on these low ROI tasks because they're not going to move the needle and you're not going to get really anything done if you're just focusing on obsessively checking the dashboard, random Shopify forums, tweaking small little logo changes, or even tweaking your website to optimize the color, using the color blue because, psychology said so. Like, bro, that shit does not fucking matter, okay? Now, rule of thumb here, if a task does one of these, it's high leverage, right? Understand that if it generates revenue, builds your brand, creates systems or scalability, if it doesn't do one of these, it's likely low leverage, okay? So now let's get into the step-by-step daily planning system that I personally use. And again, this is a simple structure that you can go ahead and follow every single day to stay productive and focused if you want an example of what I do, right? So step one is planning tomorrow today. Bro, you have no idea how crazy this simple little thing is, okay? So before ending your workday, okay, let's assume that, it's yesterday, you want to take 10 to 15 minutes to plan the next day, okay? You want to write down your high leverage priorities for tomorrow. So ask yourself, what actually moved the needle today? So reflect, what tasks wasted a lot of my time and what should I double down on tomorrow? Focus on outcomes, not vague tasks, right? So let's get specific here. So a really bad example of this would be like, I'm going to do product research tomorrow. No. Let's get into the fine details. I'm going to find 3 winning potential products, okay? So again, don't focus on the vague, focus on the specifics, all right? Another example could be, tomorrow I'm going to be testing new ads. Okay, but like, what does that even look like? What does that even mean? Break it down into the constituent parts, right? It could be test 5 new marketing angles, right, for your product. That could be something that you can go ahead and do when you want to test a new ad, right? So clarity leads to execution. You have to be super, super detailed about what you're going to be doing every single day and just break it down. Break it down because if you're vague, right, like how is that going to tell your brain that, hey, when I have to do product research, this is exactly what I'm going to do, right? Because if you don't have like a game plan and you're not specific about what you're going to, you might not even do it. And B, even if you do it, right? I said do. Oh, fuck, bro. Even if you do it, you're going to be lost, right? Because you're not going to know the exact specifics of what you need to do, okay? So this is exactly what I mean by planning tomorrow today. So before you go to bed tonight, plan the next day. I'm telling you, because here's the thing, right? You don't want to be spending this finite energy that you have in your body thinking about what you need to do today. That you shouldn't be spending energy on that. You should be spending energy on the actual tasks, right? Like filming your videos, making the ads, posting them, talking to your team. That's the type of energy that we should be using on a daily basis, not thinking about what, you're going to be wearing for the day. Right? That's another thing too. The reason why you guys see me wear this fucking white shirt every single video is because I wear the same shirts every single day. Granted, I buy multiple pairs, guys. I'm not smelly, okay? But what I mean by this is like, I don't want to be spending, again, my brain points on figuring out what I'm going to be wearing today, okay? Same thing goes with this. I don't want to be thinking about what I need to do today. I want to just execute, and use, the 10 to 12 hours a day that I have free to just work on the business, okay? So that's what I mean by that. All right, so now, step number 2, morning routine, bro. This is so important, right? Start your day with intention, not chaos. So for me, right, this is how I do it, right? I wake up, obviously. I do not check my phone until I finish my morning routine, okay? So something that I like to do right in the morning is something for my body or my mind, right? So right now, I'm a big fan of meditation. I meditate for 1 hour straight. And I might make a video on how I personally meditate. I won't get into it, but meditation has absolutely changed my life to kind of slow the pace of life living here in Miami. I live in the most chaotic city in the world, But the reason I've been able to be so chill and focused is because I honestly meditate a lot. Okay. So do something for your body, your mind. Go to the gym, go for a walk, stretch. I don't know. Do something that's going to be conducive to your vessel, right? Your body. Without your body, you can't do anything in life, right? Same thing goes with your conscious, right? Everything works together. And I've noticed that if I'm not taking care of my body, my business goes down the drain. Okay. Now, you want to then review your journal or task list from yesterday, right? That we built yesterday. Again, we are planning tomorrow today. So you're going to ask yourself, what are the top 3 things that will move my business forward today, right? Mornings set the tone for the entire day. You want to protect them. The worst thing you want is a bad morning because it will literally ruin your whole day. Okay, that's why I don't like to check my phone immediately, because I used to wake up first thing in the morning, check my phone, someone's blowing up my phone, someone's calling me, there's an issue, all of a sudden anxiety, bro. And it ruins my day completely. So again, I don't even pick up my phone, quite honestly, till like 12 p.m. And I wake up at like 9, bro. Okay, so I don't even check my phone because I don't even want to like get into the whole chaos, bro. I want to have my morning routine, start the day right, and then get straight to work. Okay. Step 3, power work blocks. Okay. So let's say hypothetically you're working anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. In this case, we're going to be using the 4-hour mark here of just working and really doing some deep work, right? So this is where the real progress happens, right? This is what you would call like deep work. So during these blocks, there's no distractions, there's no social media, no unnecessary messages, just deep work, right? So for example, right, this would be like your morning work block. At 9, right, you start your day, hypothetically. This is if like you wake up early. From 9 to 10:45, you're doing product or concept research, right? You're really focusing on the tasks that are the hardest, right? That's what I've learned as well, is that like if I focus on stuff that I don't want to do right in the morning, I just get it done, bro. It's like going to the gym in the morning. You get it done and then boom, you're good to go, because you're not going to want to do it later, right? And these are going to be very high impact tasks, right? Like product research, bro. If you don't find a winning product, you don't make money. Same thing with concepts. If you have a banger product, but you don't have, really good concepts or ads for that product, you're not going to make money, right? So these are very high lever activities that I'm really focusing in the morning when I have a lot of energy, okay? So let's say you're doing that for about an hour and 45 minutes. Then from 10:45 to 12:45, you're working on content creation, right? Scripting, recording, editing, right? That's going to take up a lot of your time usually. So you're going to be doing that for about 2 hours. Right after that, we're doing offer testing and landing page optimization. This is assuming that you're already scaling, you're making money with the product, right? You shouldn't be doing this if like you haven't made a single cent with the product. But I like to really spend some time on offer testing, A/B testing, right? Working on my landing page, making sure everything is good. How can I up my AOV? How can I up my CVR, right? These are all things that actually matter and are going to be making me more money in the long run. So what I'm doing here is I'm really focusing on high leverage tasks that directly grow the business, right? Like I said, product research makes me money. Concept research makes me money with the product. Content creation, right? If I don't make the content and I don't post it, how am I going to make money, right? If I don't upload my ads to the Facebook manager, how am I going to make money, right? Same thing goes if I'm like posting organically. If I don't post it on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, how am I going to make money, right? So again, we're working on very high lever activities here, and we want to make sure that in the morning when we have the most amount of energy, right, we're focusing on the highest lever activities, the hardest things that you probably don't want to do, right? Because I've learned the hard way, right? I used to like put this off to the side, be like, I'll do it later, I'll do it tonight, and then tonight comes, right? And all I want to do is chill, watch some Netflix because I'm so tired because of the day, right? So just know yourself, and I know myself better than anybody else. Like I know if I don't do my product research in the morning, it's just not going to get done. Okay. So this is what I mean by your power work block or your deep work. All right. And like I said, like during this time, bro, like my phone is away. I'm on DND. No one can even get a hold of me. If somebody even tried calling me, I'm not going to answer. And even if I see someone calling me, I'm not answering, bro. Like that's the thing. It's like you have to protect your focus, dude. So I personally put the phone in like a complete other room for like 4 hours. So I have no other choice but to work off my computer. So if you're working off your phone or your tablet or something that you're getting notifications, bro, move to a different device that like literally you can't just get a random notification, right? Like that's why I like to work on my PC, because I can't just get a notification, right? Unless you're on Mac, that's a little bit different. But like I said, bro, just be like a D&D princess, like make it impossible for someone to like actually get a hold of you for like these 4 hours. And bro, something simple as well. Like since I do live in a high rise, bro, I put all my windows like down, like my window blinds down. So like I can't even look at like the scenery, bro, because that's even distracting to me as well. So like I'm working in the dark and I'm really just focusing on the task at hand. Okay, so like I said, protect your focus during this whole entire work block that you're going to be doing. Alrighty, so next thing that we're going to be talking about here is delegation and systems. And I typically like to do this around the midday. And afternoons for me are ideal for operational tasks and team management, right? So assuming that you just got done with your work block, your power block here, now we're talking to our team, right? So what I like to do around this time is review my team's work, right? So I'm either hopping on meetings with them or just checking up on them via WhatsApp. Another thing too is giving instructions to my VAs or my editors. So whether I'm talking to my customer support team or the editors that edit my videos for my big brands, again, I'm giving instructions. I'm even hopping on calls with them, and we're getting straight to work. Another thing too is I like communicating with my supplier around this time. So whether I'm just sending money for invoices or checking up on the quality control of my product, this is the time where I just sit down, talk to my suppliers overseas, and make sure that everything is running smoothly. And lastly, setting up automations, right? So you could be setting up email marketing automations. So you can run like flows 24/7 for customers that, went into your website, provided you with the email or even SMS, and you're able to send them, offers, new products, etc. Right? That would be a very good example of using like an email marketing team or something like that to set up these automations to make money in the back end. Okay. Another thing too is fulfillment, right? Connecting a private supplier to your store so your fulfillment is done with you. Believe it or not, with my first ever product in organic, the Deadpool mask, I was fulfilling each and every individual order myself. For the whole time, like over 400 orders I did myself. And I was literally just like on AliExpress, and I was filling out like each individual customer's address, bro. And I can't believe like I didn't use a private supplier, because I thought I didn't need it. I thought like, oh, I don't need a private supplier. I can do everything myself. And bro, I can't even tell you how much time I wasted doing that. But please get a private supplier, have them connect to your store so the fulfillment is done for you. Even the tracking numbers, you'll save hundreds and thousands of hours, bro, especially if you're scaling. And then lastly, right, checking up on my upsells. How can I improve my upsells when it comes to like even my bundles? It could be the front end, post-purchase, pre-purchase. It could be everything, right? This has to do with just automations that are running on your store, right? So me personally, for one of my brands, let's say you add to cart, and boom, you're going to get hit with a pre-purchase saying, hey, by the way, you're going to get an extra 50% off this other variation if you take this deal right now. So boom, AOV is upped right then and there. Let's say they check out, boom, they're hit with a post-purchase, bro, where I'll go ahead and offer them something a little bit more complimentary to that item for another percentage off. So again, I'm upping my AOV, and these upsells, right, are running 24/7. So this is what I mean by setting up automations. Like I said, you can do email automations, fulfillment, upsells. There's a lot of automations that you can set up, but these are just the 3 that I'm going to be talking about in this video, right? So your goal is simple here, right? You want to remove yourself from the repeatable task, right? Every system you build creates more time and scalability. The whole point of building out a system, the whole point of building out a schedule is so we're efficient, but we're also saving more time to focus on higher leverage movers. Okay. So now we're going to be really breaking down what a system is. Okay. So pay attention. So a system, okay, is a structured set of processes, steps, or components that work together consistently to achieve a specific goal or outcome. The key parts of a system is going to be input, right? What goes into it? Time, resource, energy, information, right? Then we have the processes, the methods or steps taken to handle those inputs. Then we have outputs, the results it produces, sales, content, progress, whatever it may be. And then we have a feedback loop, right? Which a lot of people don't really talk about. Is the adjustments made to improve the system over time, right? So let's say, for example, you're doing organic dropshipping and you're filming for your first ever product, right? So the input in this case scenario would be to pick up your phone, get the product, and start recording, right? So this is going to be the time, the resources, and energy that goes into filming your first ever video. Then we have the processes, right? The methods or steps taken to handle those inputs, right? So once we record that video, now we're going into the whole editing process. We throw it onto CapCut, we edit, we take inspiration from competitors, right? We're using proof of concept for our video. And this is going to be part of the whole process of rendering out our first ever video to post, right? And then we have the output, right? The result it produces, right? So once we post that video, do we get some sort of output from it? Do we get our first ever sale? Are we going viral? Do we see some sort of progress on the account? That could be considered a output. And then we have the feedback loop, right? The adjustments made to improve the system over time. So let's say you posted that video and you went super viral and got your first ever sale, that is going to be a positive feedback loop telling you, hey, do more of this. And then we have the opposite, right? Let's say you posted that video, it didn't go viral, it got like 10 views, no one commented, not even a single sale. That would be a negative feedback loop telling you, hey, something has to change and we're going to have to readjust, right? So this is really what a system is. A lot of people kind of overcomplicate the word system. They think it's like this like AI robot doing everything for you. No, it's really just a way of thinking, okay? So we're going to go ahead and break down two different systems here. And the first one is going to be ROI. So as a dropshipper, okay, your highest ROI activities are going to be product research, content creation, store optimization, and actually fulfilling on the products that you're selling, right? So if you're juggling too many things at once, you'll end up half committing to all and mastering none. Okay, so the market here rewards the dropshippers who can tunnel vision on execution, like content, products, and fulfillment, while ignoring all distractions, right? So this is going to be a very high ROI for you, because if you don't do the product research, if you don't have a winning product in hand and you're not creating content for it, and then you don't even have a store up and you're not fulfilling on your customers, you're not going to make money, right? These are all different little counterparts in this whole entire system that have to be working together to actually work, right? So this is going to be system number one, which is going to be called ROI. System number two is going to be delegation. All right. So when it comes to delegating, there's many different tasks that can be delegated inside of your e-com business. So for example, the first one's going to be customer support teams, right? These people handle refunds, order tracking, FAQs, and this essentially frees your time from low ROI tasks. Then there's something called creators. So if you do organic dropshipping and you want to scale your products, even with paid ads, you could start hiring something called editors to film and edit your TikToks and Reels in bulk, right? Or your ads, right? So this is going to give you nonstop content flow to maximize absolute output and also just free up a lot of your time to work on the business rather than in it, okay? Another thing too is email marketing teams to run your campaigns, run your abandoned cart flows and holiday promotions, right? This is going to increase your average order value and repeat sales. So you're going to be making a lot more money. And then you have yourself, right? The CEO, you're focusing only on PR, testing angles and scaling those winners. Those, again, going back to system number one, are the highest ROI activities that you could be possibly doing. The other thing too is a product research VA. So this is going to save you lots of time for product research to sift through tons of products. So if you wanted to, delegate the whole product research part, you could do that. Me personally, I don't like to, because I want to know what I'm getting into and really just take my time with picking these products rather than having some like Chinese VA or Indian VA send me millions of products and I have to kind of sift through all the crap because they don't know the criteria like I do. Okay. Then lastly, we have website developers, right? People that actually know how to optimize stores for higher CVR and AOV. That is something you can go ahead and delegate yourself, okay, once you reach the certain point. So by delegating, your energy goes into high leverage tasks while your team keeps the machine running while you're sleeping, literally. So these are going to be two examples of different systems. Now, step number 5. So we're going into like later in the day, right? This typically takes me 1, maybe 2 hours, but I like to reserve time later in the day for thinking about the long-term vision or the goal, right? This is when you should analyze your store and ad performance, study the marketing angles, watch relevant lessons or educational content regarding certain situations that you're in, brainstorming new marketing angles, and improving product offers, right? This is what I would call like long-term thinking. And I like to ask myself these 3 questions, right? How can I make more from what I already have? What can I improve to increase conversions, right? How can I make more money from all the customers that are accessing my website? And then lastly, how can I scale this further? How can I look this from a long-term perspective and maybe go into a fully branded store, hiring affiliates to essentially make UGC for me to then scale with ads, right? That's something that I would consider scaling this further, or even getting into actual like real stores, brick and mortar businesses, and going beyond the drop shipping model, okay? Maybe having a 3PL in the United States you can go ahead and ship out within 72 hours, right? And these are the types of questions that I'm asking myself, right? All the time, really, not just 1 to 2 hours a day, but how can I take this home? How can I really go beyond the typical drop shipping, the typical e-com model of just running like little pump and dumps, and really focus on my long-term vision? And my long-term vision is going to be a lot different than yours, and your long-term vision is going to be a lot different than mine, right? So you have to know your why. But for me personally, I want to build something that's going to be bigger than me. And that's what I'm striving for every single day. So that's going to be step number 5 when it comes to growth and kind of strategizing your long-term plan. All right. Step number 6. So this is going to be around the evening. Okay. And we're kind of just reviewing things. So before ending your workday, you want to review exactly what you accomplished. So kind of like audit yourself, right? Kind of like your own boss. You want to move unfinished tasks to tomorrow. So that would be like first on your bucket list for the next day if you didn't get it done. Obviously, you want to plan for tomorrow. Like we said, we want to plan tomorrow today, right before we go to bed. And then we're going to mentally just shut down work mode and focus on something else, right? For me, that's going to be the gym. So right after I'm done with my workday, around 8 or 9, I go to the gym for an hour and a half and I focus on something entirely different than work, okay? Because it's good, bro. Recovery truly matters because burnout will kill your productivity. And there's been multiple times in my e-com journey that I've almost burnt out. And it's not good, bro, because when you truly burn out, you might be out for a month, you might be out for 2 weeks, and not working for 2 weeks could drastically impact your performance, especially if you're burnt out. You could even get sick. I almost got to the point where I got really sick because of burnout. I was about to hit my peak. And again, you should know your peak of burnout and don't just be like, oh, I'm about to burn out because you're tired. Like true burnout is like when you're working anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day for months straight, 7 days a week, because you'll be surprised how far you can carry your body and your mental. But, you know, I almost did reach a point where I was like getting really, really sick and I had to take like at least a week off at that point. I remember I went to go visit my family and reconnect with them, but it was getting really bad. It was getting really bad. But yeah, you definitely don't want to burn out and be out for months or even multiple weeks because that could definitely not kill your business, but could definitely damage it. Now, I'm going to be talking about 7 quick tips to stay on track. The first one is my personal favorite, and it's going to be using a calendar to schedule important tasks instead of hoping you'll do them. So I used to be the type of person, and just recently I got onto this. Again, I'm no saint, but I used to be the type of person where I would like wake up and get to the money. But like, that's cool and all, but when you don't have intention and you're not planning, you're going to be lost, like I talked about earlier in the video. And so I've been using this calendar from my mentor, Sam Ovens. He doesn't really post content anymore. He's the owner of School. He's not really my mentor, but I look at him as a mentor, even though he has no idea who I am. It'd be cool if you watched this video, but shout out to Sam Evans. He's actually the creator of this War Map calendar. I actually updated it for 2026 because the one he made was from like 2018. And what this allows me to do is essentially plan out my days, my months, and even the long-term vision, right? The whole entire year. And so what you can do here is edit this to your liking. You can even color code everything. I really like to just focus on the month that I'm in. So obviously we're in March, and every single day I jot down exactly what I need to do and also the main objective of the month. So whether that is a monetary goal, whether that it's, I don't know, that could be like 2 new hires, 2 new creative strategists, 5 new creators, 3 winning products. Again, it's important to be specific, but I use this calendar to essentially keep everything structured. So I'm actually going to be leaving a link to this exact calendar in the link in the description if you guys want it for absolutely free. Just make sure you click file right here and then make a copy so you can go ahead and edit it because I will just be providing the template. So yeah, calendars are really cool. You could obviously use like Google Calendar, but I like to be kind of old school about it and do it that way. Shout out Sam Ovens. The next one's going to be batching similar work. So try to avoid constantly switching between tasks. So let's say like in the morning, you're working on your website, right? Don't go from like website creation to then product filming to then back to website creation, then product filming, because you're going to be jumbled. You're going to be all over the place. And it's going to be really tough for you to really just focus up. So just focus on the task at hand and try and batch everything together so you get that done. Number 3 here is going to be silencing your notifications. Be a DND princess, all right? Protect your focus. Like I mentioned before, you couldn't even call me if you wanted to. And even if I got your message or your call, I'm not answering. So again, I value my focus very, very much to the point where it's like kind of autistic on how locked the fuck in I am. Where, you know, like I said, anything that has to do with my peripheral vision, I will try and cover. So that's why right now you're seeing how it's all sunny because I'm recording a video, but you should see me when I'm working. The blinds are down. It'll be like 12 p.m. and you know, it's fucking pitch dark in here. So That's how much I protect my focus, and it goes beyond just silencing my phone, silencing notifications. Even people that knock on my door, like the other day, my Instacart guy came to deliver my Costco, and he was probably knocking at the door for a minute, and then he just gave up and just left the food there. And I knew he was knocking. I heard him, but I was like, bro, I'm not gonna get up because I have shit to do. I was actually in a couple of meetings, and I really couldn't like get distracted. So kind of be a little bit weird about it. All right. Number 4, use a priority to-do list. All right. So organize your tasks based on impact on urgency. So like I mentioned, plan tomorrow, today. Go ahead and add that to your calendar. Number 5, track your time, right? Audit where your hours actually go. And you'll be surprised, bro, because when you actually start to analyze at least like every 30 minutes of the day and you write down what exactly you got done, you'll start to notice like you don't really get a lot done, bro. And going back to what I said earlier in the video, it's like a lot of people feel like they're being productive, but they're not actually moving the needle. And so when you audit your time and you're writing down exactly what you got done that hour, you'll be surprised, bro, because you're not really working too much, or not even working too much, but working too well. Okay. So track your time. Number 6, learn to say no, bro. Learning to say no is probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I used to be like a massive like FOMO guy. If you guys know what FOMO is, like fear of missing out. Like I could not like say no. Okay. Like I would say yes to absolutely every opportunity, good or bad. And it was really hard. But the one pivotal change I will say that got me to where I am today, at least, is saying no more. Saying no to certain opportunities, saying no to certain relationships, and really thinking about this, right? If it doesn't really help my mission, then I skip it. If it's not conducive to what I'm optimizing for, skip it, right? And that's the thing. A lot of you might look at me and be like, yo, this guy's fucking crazy, bro. He's too locked in. He has no social life. All he does is work. But that's what I like to do because I'm optimizing for impact. I'm optimizing for my business. And so you got to ask yourself, what are you optimizing for? Are you optimizing for happiness? Are you optimizing for, having a lot of friends? Because I'm not. If I were optimizing for happiness, then I wouldn't probably like be doing 90% of the things that I do every single day, because quite often I don't want to do a lot of shit, right? But I still do it because I know it has to be done and it's part of my mission. So learn to say no more. Last one here, number 7, focus on inputs and not just outputs, right? Winning comes from consistent daily actions. So a lot of you like to put very output-based goals, like making $10,000 a month when you're broke. And $10,000 a month doesn't even exist. So what I would say is try to break down $10,000 a month and ask yourself, what does the person that's making $10,000 a month look like, right? What is he doing? What time is he waking up? What is he working on? What is he saying no to? And really focus on those actions, those inputs that are going to get you to $10,000 a month, right? Because if you don't pick the product, you don't run the content, and you don't make the website, you're not going to get to $10,000 a month, okay? So why not just focus on the inputs that are going to get you there rather than looking at the top of the mountain when you haven't even gone one step up, right? So start focusing on inputs and not just outputs, especially when it comes to goal setting, bro. Couple of action steps for you guys. Tonight, plan your next day using the structure, top 3 high leverage activities. Get on the War Map, dude. Like just use it, make a copy. It'll change your life. I recently just started using it, and it's been insane how much work I've been able to get done. And really focus on those time blocks, right? The morning work block, the afternoon operations, the evening strategy, and really thinking about the long-term vision of where you want to take things. And your daily goal, right? What result do you want to achieve tomorrow? Like, what you do today is going to maybe not show until tomorrow or a week after from now, or maybe a month from now, but it will compound. And so if you genuinely structure your days and manage your time, it will eventually catch on, and you're going to be seeing the fruits of your labor from months of hard work, because you're not going to suddenly just start doing this and after a week see crazy results. I mean, you might, but it will take a lot of time to kind of reprogram your brain to kind of think like this, even down to like what I said earlier, wearing the same shit. I used to love fashion, bro. Like that was my number one thing. I kind of like had an identity behind fashion, but for me right now, it's kind of a waste of time because I don't want to be spending my brain points on figuring out what I need to wear and if like this girl's going to like it and if this other girl won't like it. Like, bro, I don't give a shit. I'm just going to wear a white tee, a little bit oversized, wear the same thing, and I'm good, bro. I'm focusing on the biz. I'm not thinking about what I need to wear or what I need to post on my Instagram and how to optimize my bio. And, you know, like, bro, like, just focus on what's genuinely important, okay? And most of the time, a lot of you guys say, like, yo, I need to add more stuff into my routine to optimize and get better. But most of the time, bro, it's about removing things, removing the bullshit from your life that's keeping you from where you want to be, and just simplifying your life. If you guys want to read a book, it's really good. I've been reading it. It's actually called Essentialism by Mr. Greg. And it's really good. It's how to actually simplify your life and really just focus on what's essential, okay? This is not even sponsored, by the way, but if you guys want to read a cool book, go ahead and do so. So yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end off the video here. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, drop me some feedback too. I'm going to be reading every single comment that I see and most likely replying to all of them. And yeah, if you guys do want to work with me one-on-one, join my inner circle. It's an actual mentorship where you get to hop on calls with me daily. Whether you want to start your first organic dropshipping business, get into ads, or most importantly, get into TikTok Shop, because right now we are absolutely cooking with that. You guys can go ahead and take a look at the first link in the description to book a call with my team to see if you're a right fit, and really get started. And, you know, not only do I help people with the business model that they want to get into, but I also help with mindset and really just building out a system that's going to work for you and your specific business. And it's been working phenomenally. And if we take a look right here at the Discord, this is going to be the win section of my inner circle, Full Stack Ecom. And you guys can see people are getting their first ever sales. We got Kiki with a almost 300 euro order. We have Adam hitting his first $4,000 day. We have Harper hitting a $69,000 week with one product, as well as Arian getting his first sale in the program. Chris doing $2,000 in 7 days with his first branded store. Gilly hitting his first $1,000. Lachey, $400 in 7 days. $6,300 on the day for my boy Mark. So even the beginners and intermediates and advanced guys are absolutely printing at the moment. And you guys can go ahead and take a look for yourselves. We have girls in here printing. She's doing $8,000 in a week. Shout out Zyda, bro. Like, it doesn't matter what age, what gender you are, what race you are. Everyone inside Full Stack Ecom is absolutely printing. And even if you are a beginner and want to optimize your scalability and your website, right? Look at AJ. We implemented one little call the other day, talking about free gifts and how to make a really good offer, and boom, next day, 2.2K a day, right? So if you guys are interested, take a look at the first link in the description. And with that being said, guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.